Welcome to Lenstar with iSuite training module on keratometry. This segment will illustrate the keratometry features of the iSuite software. In this training module, we will discuss the measurement zones, quantity of keratometry measuring points, reviewing the individual keratometry measurements, and the acceptable standard deviations for use in both standard and toric IOL calculations. Lenstar has dual-zone keratometry with two rings. The outer ring is 2.3 mm and the inner ring is 1.65 mm. Each ring contains 16 measuring points for a total of 32 measuring points spaced 22.5 degrees apart. The greatest distance that any meridian can be located from a measurement LED is approximately 11 degrees. This makes the case for the Lenstar accurate for both the determination of the steep and the flat meridians and the power difference between. Each keratometry scan, along with 6 other biometric measurements, instantly provides the average of 4 keratometry readings times 32 measuring points for 128 total measuring points. Hogstrite recommends that users produce 5 scans. Consequently, the final average keratometry measurements are the product of 640 measuring points. The measurement range for keratometry is 30.1 diopters to 69.9 diopters. Keratometry measurements are captured during the biometry, ensuring that all measurements are on the patient's central visual axis. It is highly recommended to measure the patient's keratometry prior to applanation or pneumotonometry to increase the quality of the measurements. Tonometry measurements can flatten the cornea briefly and reduce the quality of the keratometry results. iSuite Biometry allows the user to adjust the keratometry to either plus or minus cylinder as well as diopter or millimeter increments. In addition to these features, the user is also able to adjust the keratometric index of refraction. The Biometry Examination Results Overview page will display the average of the flat and the steep meridian, including the amount of astigmatism. The astigmatic degree will be displayed along the meridian, either plus or minus as selected by the physician in the Preferences menu. By selecting any K values from the Results Overview page, the physician can open a new window displaying all of the keratometric values from the biometry acquisition. From this screen, the user may select individual measurements to evaluate independently. Measurement data can be excluded entirely by unchecking the box to the right of the measurements. The K1, K2, and axis measurements may also be excluded individually with a right click of the mouse. Excluded measurements will remain in the database and are not permanently deleted. For toric IOL lens consideration, it is recommended to keep the standard deviation of the axis to 3.5 degrees or less. The K1 and the K2 standard deviation power should be kept equal to or less than 0.250 mm, which translates to 1/4 of a diopter. Adjusted results will be displayed with an asterisk on both the keratometry screen as well as the Results Overview page. Right and left eye measurements will open independently. Keratometry measurements acquired from secondary sources may also be entered into the iSuite IOL calculation page for a more personalized result.